the remains of former Umkhonto We Sizwe guerrillas prioritized over others? Why are the remains of many other fallen freedom fighters yet to be located? How does this impact on affected families' rights to find closure? And does the Missing Persons Task Team fulfill its mandate? What time is it? It's question time. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Umkhonto We Sizwe. On Friday, the Department of Justice and Correctional Services officially handed over the remains of 10 former Umkhonto We Sizwe members to their families in Tshwane. For its part, the defense and military veterans has set aside a budget for the reburial of cadres. But do fallen APLA and AZANLA fighters receive the same treatment? A reminder that this is a live program, and therefore you can call us and air your views 089-110-4210 or 002789-110-4210, our Twitter handle at Question Time 24. My guest joining us from Tshwane Studios is the Deputy Minister of Defense and Military Veterans, Kebi Maphatso. He's also the head of Umkhonto We Sizwe Military Veterans. Deputy Minister, welcome to the show. It should have been quite an emotional service or ceremony to receive the remains of those cadres who had fallen many years ago, and sadly so, many of them, if not all, very young stars.
Thank you, Umkhonto and the viewers.
Indeed, like I was saying, it should have been a very emotional service to receive the remains of those cadres of MK.
Very emotional indeed, Umkhonto, to receive 10 remains of the comrades after such a long time. And if you listen and hear how they were murdered, those comrades, it tells you that the way apartheid was brutal. It took everything at its disposal in order to make sure that as long as you are a cadre of Umkhonto We Sizwe, you must be dealt with, not even to survive, but to be killed. And they thought by doing so, we will never get our freedom.
Yes. But, DM, there have been complaints here. Members of the other two liberation movements, the Black Consciousness Movement of Azania and the Pan-Africanist Congress of Azania, they are complaining that they are actually not being catered for in as or rather similarly as MK cadres. They have their former comrades who are still buried in foreign land, who have not been repatriated.
This process that happened on Friday, these are not remains from foreign countries.
Okay.
These are the remains that were found by the Missing Persons Task Team.
Yes.
And other remains that were there on Friday are the people who were whose families received the wrong remains previously. Remember, this is a process that started during the TRC.
Yes.
So some of the remains that were given to the family were wrong. There's no discrimination against APLA and the Black Consciousness Movement, the AZANLA. The government treats them equal.
Okay. And as you were saying, it would appear this process is very tedious and it's taking so long to identify these comrades.
It is indeed. We must really appreciate the role that is played by the Missing Person Task Team led by Madeleine Fullard. When she came here to South Africa, TRC, just buried people as long as they said, the way they were exhumed, it was that, no, we remember people were buried here. No DNA test was done to prove that these are the true remains of comrades so and so. So when the Missing Person Task Team was established, It was to make sure that we give the families the correct remains of their loved ones. So it has been a tedious indeed process, but I must say that the manner that Madeleine Fullard and her team is doing that, they are doing a very good work.
How do you think this serves the process of reconciling society?
You know, we have accepted that at a certain time we had the enemy that killed our people brutally, and Nelson Mandela Otata said we must reconcile. And indeed, we have reconciled, and we have forgiven those who did that, but we'll never forget. But what is happening there, it tells our history that this freedom was never free. This freedom was fought for, and people sacrificed, people laid down their lives, people made sure that come what may, South Africa shall be free. So the reconciliation process, indeed, it is not an easy thing, but we have accepted that at a certain stage we have to reconcile. We have reconciled with our former enemies. That is why we had a government of national unity before. After that, we had a government that was elected by the people. But we're in a process. It's not just a one thing that will happen at a go. We are going that route of reconciling.
And perhaps if we were to also focus quickly, DM, on the current, the survivors, the heroes, the veterans of the struggle itself, how are you supporting them? Because finding or seeing them now, you know, in a service where they have to welcome the remains of some of their former comrades, it is quite a sad side. I mean, psychologically, this deals with you as well. I mean, if you had survived either that skirmish or the raid itself, or that confrontation that occurred, and perhaps sadly some of your comrades were lost.
You know, Mpo, on Friday we had Mteteledi Ngobe, who was arrested, who was sentenced to death.
Yes.
He was one of the people who was the last person to be with some of those comrades. There are comrades who were with those comrades, especially the ones who were driven by an enemy agent, Kumbi, and they were brutally murdered from Botswana. So these are sometimes emotional ceremonies that we have.
Yes.
But as a Department of Military Veterans, we're trying by all means, it's a new department.
Yes.
We're trying by all means, as though it's not easy, to make sure that we change the life of the military veterans and their dependents. We're still struggling also with policies to make sure that they align with themselves with the realities that are faced by military veterans and their dependents.
And I'm happy that you have raised the dependence issue, because I think whenever we talk of the struggle, we forget that there are victims who are children who were innocent at the time, who lost their parents, who may have gone to exile, either they did not come back or even came back, you know, later in their lives, and they still remain very much traumatized.
Indeed, Mpotsiri, that is why we were saying in that process of what they call post-traumatic stress disorder, it does not only affect the main member, but it also affects the dependents of those comrades. So we're in the process of making sure that the policy is aligned in making sure that it assists also the dependents of the military veterans, not only through counseling, but also for them to benefit, like in education we're doing, they're benefiting in education, assisting them to get job opportunities. These are the things that we have not been doing as the department. We want to make sure that we align our policies with the realities that are faced by the military veterans.
Okay. DM, I want us to take a quick break. When we return, perhaps let's talk to also those family members whose family members have not been located, or they know where they are buried outside the borders of this country, for instance, how they go about getting them back. And if you have a view on this matter as a viewer, the number to dial is 089-110-4210. If you're outside the country, 00278911042110. Our Twitter handle at question time 24. This is question time.
In Africa, mobile devices are tools to make payments, browse the internet, and keep governments in check with social media forums.
It's given an average African too much power in their hands.
And tech creativity is solving some of the continent's problems.
Everything is internet driven.
And on Network, we tell you how Africans are using technology and social media in their everyday lives.
Join Siphumelele Zondi on Network every Sunday at 19:30 CAT.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. My guest today is the Deputy Minister of Military Veterans, Dr. KB Mapatsu. Now, DM, let's talk about those families or whose loved ones have not come back. They know perhaps that they are buried in Mazimbu, they may be buried in Lusaka, or in Angola for that matter. How do they go about getting them back?
What we have done as the MKMVA, we pushed a resolution in Mangaung, which was adopted by the ANC, and the government has adopted it now to say we should have a policy of the exhumation, repatriation, and reburials of our comrades who are buried in foreign land. What we are doing now is to work together with the Department of Arts and Culture, work together with the Department of Justice and Correctional Services, together with the Department of Defense and Military Veterans, to come up with a committee that will deal with this thing of the repatriation, exhumation, and the reburials. However, we are saying it's not going to be an easy process. Like, for an example, in Lesotho it might be easy, and Botswana and Swaziland. But in Angola, for an example, we have the graves of our comrades who were mined by ourselves, because we are saying that if the enemy UNITA comes back, it must not get the remains of our comrades. So some of those graves, as they are mined, we don't have the map any longer of how they were mined. It's going to be a difficult thing in Angola, unless if a comrade is buried in town.
Yes.
But in Tanzania, they are marked. In Zambia, they are marked. In Lesotho, they are marked. I must say that the MEC of Sports, Arts and Culture and Recreation of the Eastern Cape, Comrade Pemi Majodina, has been doing a good work in exhuming the comrades in the neighboring countries. I know she will be going to Zimbabwe. But we want the families to come up also to work with them, to say how best can we do that. You know, there was a very emotional thing in 2006 or 7.
Yes.
An old woman came to my office, a pensioner, and she said, my child, I have saved all my money that I'm getting every month, the grant money. What I want from you, or I request from you, is that if you can show me the grave of my child, I have saved this money, I will buy my ticket, my flight ticket to Angola. If you can show me the grave, because I don't sleep at night. He keeps on coming to me and saying, Mama, why have you forgotten about me? So some of these things are very emotional. And the sooner as a government we move faster on this one, the better for ourselves and the families of our comrades.
Okay. DM, we're now joined by Marjorie Jobson, who is with the Kolumani Support Group. And Marjorie, welcome. Let's see, how are you supporting the former liberation fighters?
Okay, this is a really important issue. And on last Friday, in fact, there were remains of 10 people returned in a ceremony at Freedom Park, which you might have mentioned already. Sure. There are many, many more who families know where they are buried in places like Tanzania. And I mean, I really am very glad about this ANC resolution that we need to bring these liberation fighters home. It is absolutely the desire of all the families. But we have about 2,500 cases of people who were politically active who have disappeared. And that's an ongoing task, because all of those families deserve the same kind of support to return the remains of their family members. The ones that are being worked on at the moment are the ones that people reported to the Truth Commission. And amongst those cases are, for instance, the case of Nokutula Simelane, who was a courier from Swaziland.
We'll talk about Nokutula just now. Let me take a call here from anonymous caller who is in the Northwest. Welcome to Question Time. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I just want to ask the question to the Minister, Deputy Minister Pepe, because a few weeks ago he announced on TV that there will be a military package or an amount of money to go to the military veterans. I want to know when, because at the end of his speech he mentioned that it will happen before the end of this year. So I want to find out, because the ex-combatants are...
Oh, it appears we
some of them are dying every day. I just want to know when exactly is the money going to get? Are they going to get money, or there's no money? And then we can follow about other things, other benefits. Just want to find out about the money first, because that is the main thing. So they allocate money to different other things, but they don't allocate money to physically go to the military veterans.
Okay.
So I want to find out.
All right. Deputy Minister, when are you paying the money?
Now, we have been going on a road show. We have been in the Western Cape, Limpopo, and Gauteng. We will be coming to all other provinces that are remaining. We have indeed the pensions that are called the military veterans pension that we have established as the Department of Military Veterans, which has, as I know, they have paid 53 military veterans. It is ongoing because you have to verify first.
Yes.
There is a pension that is called compensation on injury. These are the people that got injured in exile.
Yes.
And the department is busy with that. We have started with that process. The comrade, if he has got issues, he must go to the nearest Department of Military Veterans in the province. We've got coordinators.
Okay.
Speak to those comrades, but he can apply to the Department of Military Veterans for those pensions.
Okay. Koketso, you also, you're rather calling us from around Gauteng? Koketso?
Hello, yes?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I just want to find out from the Deputy Minister that why are other struggle veterans like Keini Mutamai, who is still in Boksburg prison, has been there for over 20 years now. There's nothing that they have done to see that they assist those cadres to come out. So I'm worried that all the times we're seeing the remains that are being repatriated back home, but other struggle heroes of specifically APLA, they are not given attention.
Okay.
Their own focus is on MK remains that coming back. What about, thanks.
Okay. I had wanted to have a follow-up question, but yeah, Deputy Minister, the APLA matter seems to be quite current now.
Yeah, the question of the comrades there is really not clear. I'm not sure whether he's talking about military veterans who are still in prison, or he's saying those are the ones who passed on. But as I said in my opening remarks, is that the missing person task team is not only exhuming the former MK cadres only.
Yes.
This is a process that started from the TRC, and they have a list from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And I remember I don't know which year it was that they did exhume comrades from APLA who were secretly buried. So it does not discriminate this process. But with the people who are in prison, it's not only APLA comrades who are in prison. We have MK comrades who are in prison. But those, if they were arrested for politically motivated actions, this is a process that we are engaging with the justice system to see how best can we fast-track their release.
Okay. Marjorie, let's talk about quickly the financial. One caller from the Northwest raised the money issue, and I know that you've been busy trying to get the monies out. Have you been able to succeed in any way?
Not yet. I mean, there is of course, the TRC awarded once-off grants of 30,000 to people who had an reparation and rehabilitation number.
Yes.
The problem is it was a fraction of the full constituency of people who suffered gross violations. So we are going to court from the 1st of November to expand that opportunity to register all the people properly who should have got that grant.
Okay.
The problem is the grant isn't adequate.
Okay.
30,000 does not begin to meet the needs of people. And so we've done workshops with all the military veteran formations who confirmed that what we were asking for would really meet their needs as well.
Okay. Peter, you're calling us from Cape Town. Peter?
Hello?
Yes. Oh.
I'm from Cape Town. I'm phoning on behalf of my... We've registered for 4 years already here by Wynberg Military Base.
What's the question?
The question is about the pension of the veterans.
Yes.
We've already... he has already registered 4 years ago in Cape Town.
Okay.
So what is the procedures?
He has received it.
Registered?
You're saying, has he received it?
Excuse me?
Are you saying he has received the pension?
No, he hasn't received any pension, but it has been 4 years already since he has been registered.
Okay, from which formation is he, or was he a member of the former TBVC states, or this former military establishment?
Must he have a number?
No. I'm saying, was he in MK or APLA or AZANLA or the TBVC states or South African Defence Force?
He was in the South African Defence Force.
Okay, let the DM address that quickly. DM.
The former South African Defence Force people had their benefits, including the pensions. So whether they retired, they received their pensions, which are more than the pensions of your former MK and APLA. And this is the issue that we are still addressing. So I don't think the Department of Defense owes people who have resigned or have been on pension, because that is a different thing from Department of Military Veterans.
Okay. DM, quickly, how far is the verification process of former combatants of military organizations, liberation movements, that is?
We have finalized the verification process.
Okay.
What is left now is just updating or putting it into the system.
Okay.
We have closed it in April, that process. Now what we are doing is capturing into the system and giving them, those who do not have force numbers, they will have the numbers which are for the Department of Military Veterans, only different from your force number of the Defence Force.
Okay.
However, for updating your status in the Departments of Military Veterans, it does not close. It is an ongoing process. But the one of people who do not appear in the system, it has been closed.
Okay. DM, thank you very, very much. Mashri, thank you for the time as well.
Okay. We finished.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was question time for today. A big thank you to my guests and to you for watching this show. Our email address, questiontime@sabc.co.za. Our Twitter handle @questiontime24. From me and the crew, have yourself a wonderful time. Goodbye.